Hello students, a warm welcome to all of you in ITLS Academy and also welcome to all in our 6-month online certification course on topic Artificial Intelligence and Molecular Biology. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the molecular building block of life. For example, nucleic. For example, nucleotide. This nucleotide is building block of nucleic acid. Means this nucleic acid is made up of nucleotide. Okay, this nucleotide is the basic unit of nucleic acid. This is a basic unit. Or we can say nucleotide is a building block of nucleic acid. Okay, and amino acid is a building block of protein. Again, cells is a building block of body. Okay, nucleotide is the building block of nucleic acid, amino acid is the building block of protein, and cells is the building block of body. Okay, first we understand what is the energy. Okay, what is the energy? Energy is a basic or essential or fundamental need of life. This is a fundamental need of life. Without energy, we can't survive. Okay, living organisms capture energy. Living organisms must capture energy either sunlight or nutrients. Okay, whenever living organisms obtain energy from sunlight, then this process is known as a photosynthesis. And whenever living organisms obtain energy from nutrients, then this process is known as a respiration. Okay, and the example of photosynthesis process is autotroph. And the example of respiration is heterotrophs. There are a variety of biochemical compounds are available. They can be oxidized by the species to obtain energy, and these chemicals may be simple sugar to complex oil. This may be sugar, lipid, or fat and protein. Okay, these compounds are oxidized and produce energy in the form of ATP. Okay, in the form of ATP. Whenever one molecule of sugar or glucose is utilized or oxidized, then we obtain a 36 to 38 ATP molecule. Okay, these ATP are utilized in biochemical reaction. Chemical reactions, and these reactions are responsible to lots of biological processes. Lots of almost all biological process. Okay. Okay. What is energy? Energy is the fundamental requirement of life. We obtain energy from sunlight or from nutrients. Whenever we obtain energy from sunlight, then this process is known as the photosynthesis. When we obtain energy from nutrients, then this process is known as a respiration. There are a variety of biochemical compounds and available which is oxidized by the species to obtain energy, and the example of these chemicals are sugar, lipid, protein, etc. Whenever one molecule of glucose is utilized, then 36 to 38 molecule of ATP is released, and these released ATP molecule is utilized in different biological reactions, and these biological reactions are responsible to different almost all biological processes. Okay. The uses of energy is very diverse. We need to synthesize, to transport the biomolecules, to create a mechanical action through the muscles protein, actin and myosin, to create a maintain a electrical gradient and electric gradient such as one that neuron use the communication and compute. Okay. The most common carrier of energy for storage and transportage is the outermost phosphate bond in the molecule of adenosine triphosphate or ATP. In ATP, three molecule of phosphate is present, and the outermost phosphate bond is act as a carrier for transporting and storage the energy. Or this ATP plays a most important role or central. The ATP plays a central role in every living system, and this ATP is responsible to carry or transport the energy. Okay. This ATP is, whenever this ATP is converted into ADP or AMP, here a 1-phosphate molecule is released. Whenever this 1-phosphate molecule is released, then we obtain energy. And the process by which this phosphate group is released from the ATP is known as a hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is a process by which a phosphate group is released from ATP and we obtain a ADP. Or whenever this phosphate group is released out, then we obtain a energy. Okay. The process, whenever this ATP is converted into ADP, then we obtain a energy 12 kilocalorie per mole. Okay. And this energy is utilized to perform many cellular tasks. Okay, and the energy changes of the cell is expressed in the ratio of ATP and ADP to ADP and electrochemical differences between the inside or outside the cell. Okay, the energy charge of the cell expressed in the ratio of ADP to ADP or transmembrane potential. Okay, and this ADP molecule is involved in lots of and most of the cellular tasks. Okay, and the mitochondria is responsible for synthesis of ADP. Okay, and this ADP is known as a currency of energy. Okay, and this mitochondria is known as a powerhouse of cells. Why it is called the powerhouse of cells? Because ADP is formed in because the ATP or energy is produced in mitochondria, and this ADP and the ATP is known as a currency of energy. ATP can be converted to other high energy phosphate compounds, and the example of these compound is creatine phosphate and other nucleotide triphosphate. Okay, and the energy obtained by these compound is utilized to transcribe the gene and replicate the chromosomes. We also store the energy in different chemical forms such as glucogen and fat. Okay, glucogen is an example of carbohydrate. Okay, and from glucogen we obtain a moderate amount of energy, and from fat we obtain a high energy molecule. Okay, in glucogen we obtain a moderate amount of ATP molecule, but in fat we obtain a high or very high ATP molecule or energy molecule. Okay, what is the energy? Okay, what is the energy? Energy is a fundamental need of our life. We use lots of chemical compound to obtain energy. Okay, and the carrier of the carrier of energy is the ATP. ATP is the carrier of energy, and then in ATP there are 3 phosphate bonds are present. Whenever outermost phosphate bond is break, then we obtain a energy, and whenever the ATP is converted into the ADP, then we obtain a energy from one molecule of it. Whenever the one molecule of ATP is utilized, then we obtain a through kilocalorie per mole, and this generated energy is used to perform a lots of cellular tasks. Okay, this ATP can also be converted to other high energy phosphate compounds such as the creatine phosphate and other nucleotide phosphate. Okay, and the energy generated by this high phosphate containing the energy generated by these compounds is utilized to express the gene expression, and we also store the energy in a form of chemicals such as fats and glucogen. Okay, these are the major activities which are performed or regulated by the protein, and this is the structural unit of protein. Now we understand the protein. What is a protein? Protein is a structural component of body, and it is synthesized by the process of translation, and it is synthesized on ribosome, this is a fundamental biomolecule of life, and it is a primary component of life. It provides a structural support and infrastructure that hold a creature together. Okay, and the protein is made up of amino acid. This protein is made up of amino acid. One amino acid is attached to another amino acid by the help of peptide bond. Okay, There are different types of protein. First is the primary protein. Next is the secondary protein. Next, tertiary protein and quaternary protein. Linear chain of amino acid is known as the primary protein. Whenever alpha helix and beta sheets are present in polypeptide chain, then now whenever the alpha helix and beta sheets are present in polypeptide chain, now this structure is known as the secondary structure. Whenever alpha helix beta sheet turn coil, covalent and non-covalent interactions are present in polypeptide chain, and it is known as a tertiary structure, and this is a functional protein. Okay, whenever the two polypeptide chain are attached together, then it will form quaternary structure of protein. Okay, there and in biological system, this protein is available in biological system. Proteins is available in different form. First, in a form of hormone, in a form of transcription or translation factor, in a form of structural protein, in a form of storage protein, in a form of enzyme, in a form of antibody. And this enzyme is act as a biocatalyst. Okay, now we understand the activity of enzymes. Now we understand the activity and the role of protein in different biological process. First, now proteins plays a most important role to catalyzing the biological process in a form of enzyme. Protein plays a most important role in catalyzing the biological reaction to provide act as a structural component, help in cell signaling, control the activity of gene or gene regulation. Okay, and this is the basic structure of amino acid. This is the central carbon, and here this is the amino group, this is the carboxyl group, this is the side of variable chain, and here a hydrogen group is present like this. This is a basic structure of amino acid. What is a nucleic acid? Nucleic acid is the two types. First is the RNA, and what is the next is the DNA. What is the RNA and DNA? What is the component of RNA DNA? We also discussed many times in our previous lecture. That's why I here skip this slide. There is a 20 amino acids are participate in protein synthesis. This protein is made up of these 20 amino acid. Okay, and these each and every amino acid is coded by the triplet nucleotide, and this triplet nucleotide is known as a genetic code. We understand the concept of codon. Okay, first we take a single nucleotide. Whenever we take a single nucleotide, then it will code only 4 amino acid. Okay, and whenever we take a dual nucleotide, suppose AT, whenever we take a nucleotide in a combination of 2, then it will code only 16 amino acid. How it will code only 16 amino acid? Total number of nucleotide 4, number of combination 2, 6 to 4 ja 16. Only 16 amino acid is coded by the combination of 2. Now we take a combination in a 3. A, T, G. Okay. Now total number of amino acid, total number of nucleotide 4 and combination. Now all 20 amino acid is coded by triplet form by the combination of 3 nucleotide. Total 20 amino acid is coded by the combination of 3 nucleotide. In 64, 3 is known as a stop codon, and 61 is as a amino acid coding codon. This is known as a stop codon, and 61 is known as a protein synthesized codon. Okay, and the example alanine. This is alanine is coded by GTC, GGG, GCN, GCD. These 4 form of codon will code single amino acid. Okay, one amino acid. Genetic codon is a sequence of 3 nucleotide base. Basically, triplet nucleotide is known as a genetic codon. In genetic codon, total 64 genetic codon are present. In 64, 61 is responsible for coding the amino acid, and 3 is known as a stop codon. Okay, and one amino acid is coded by more than one codon. Okay, for example, stop codon, there are 3 stop codon: UAA, UAG and UGE. All these amino acid is known as a stop codon. These amino acid does not code any. These codon does not code any amino acid. It will terminate the process of translation. Next is the start codon. AUG code the methionine, and this is known as a start codon, and this start codon give a signal to start the process of translation. Okay, next is degeneration. Degeneration means one codon is code more than one amino acid is coded by more than one codon. Okay, this is the basic concept of genetic codon. Okay, now we discuss the rules of genetic codon. First is the triplet code rule. Triplet code rule means each codon consists 3 nucleotides, and each triplet code for one specific amino acid or stop signal. AUG is known as a start codon, and it will code methionine. Next is non-overlapping rules. Codons are read sequentially without overlapping. Okay, each nucleotide is a part of one codon at a time, like this: AUG, GCC, UA. This is a third codon, this is a second codon, and this is a first codon. This read like this: AUG, GCC, and GGG, UAA. Okay, we can't read this like this: AUG, UGG, and GCC. This is a wrong form because here the codon are overlapped. Next rule is comma free rule. There are no punctuation. There are no gap space between a codon in mRNA sequences. Okay, these ribosomes read the sequence continuously. Okay, next, specificity rule. Each codon always code for the same amino acid. One codon code one amino acid. For example, GAA always code glutamic acid. Okay, next, degeneracy rule. Degeneracy rules means multiple codon code same amino acid. For example, leucine. Leucine is coded by CUU, CUA, and CUG, and UUA, and UUG. Okay, this is known as a codon degeneracy. Degeneracy means multiple codon can code same amino acid. Okay, next, start codon rule. Start codon rules means AUG always give a signal. AUG serve as a start codon. It will synthesize the methionine. Okay, next is stop codon. There are 3 stop codon: UAA, UAG, UGA. These codon does not code any amino acid. It will help to terminate the process of translation. Okay, next, universality rule. The genetic codon is almost universal, meaning same codon code the code for same amino acid in most of the organisms, exception in mitochondria or some single cell organs. Okay, these are the rules of genetic codon. First rule is triplet codon rule, second non-overlapping rule, comma free rule, specificity rule, degeneracy rule, start codon rule, stop codon rule, and universality rule. Okay, these are the rules of genetic codon. Okay, this is all about today's lecture. Please follow ITLS Academy on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and also get it on Google Play Store. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, share, and subscribe ITLS Academy. Thank you.